Oh, I turned you on. I didn't know that. Anyway, what we're going to do here is we're going to demonstrate this new tool touch-off device that I have here on this machine. As some of you might know, I decided I'd had enough with Mach 3 and my old control board, which was a Pokey's 57 CNC board, and between those two things and probably Windows and God knows what else, this machine was just doing weird stuff, and it would do it all the time. You'd be running a program, it would just crash right in the middle of it, and I got sick of it. So I went out and I bought a Centroid Acorn board for it, and I've done quite a few different modifications since then, and I just wanted to show you my tool touch-off system that I have that's a whole lot more streamlined than the way I used to have to do it. So part of the thing is this thing here. There's a $200 device, I think. It's you can move the machine with it. It's kind of like that. You can go like that, and you go all different speeds. You can turn any of the axes you want. You can start programs. You can do all kinds of stuff with this thing. So right now, I have Centroid up on the screen running, and I'm going to push. Now it's telling me to press the cycle start button. And what that's going to do is it's going to home the machine. So, I haven't played with this machine very much recently, but we're going to see if it's going to work. Okay, that was the Z. You can see that it's moving at a very slow rate of speed. It's going to come over here and it's going to hit this. It's going to hit this proximity switch. It's going to stop. It's going to turn around and go back a little bit to the home position. I think you can see that. Oh yeah, you'll see that little light on that switch go off right there, and then it went back on. Now it's going to do the Y axis. So what it did just now is it picked up that switch. Now it's going to go and it's going to just move this one and lock the other one in place. And what that does is it squares the gantry. So magically, just like that, it's done. So now what I want to do is move the machine to the spot where the part is and zero that. And we'll call it there. So I'm just going to zero that on here because it's how I'm going to do it. Okay, that's going to set the X and the Y. And that's all I have to set. I don't have to set anything else. So this is my touch-off plate. It's just a chunk of aluminum. And this is my first bit. This is a 1/4-inch tool bit. We're not going to be cutting anything with this, but we're going to pretend we are. So I'm going to put that in the spindle. My wrench is out. I have a big wrench. If you got a big wrench like this, be careful. You can screw these threads up on the end of the spindle pretty easily using big tools like this. So you don't have to go crazy with it. That's plenty. Of course, you don't know what that is because I did it. So now I got a little program that I want to run. Let me put you over here. I guess you can almost see that without the glare. No glare there. So we're going to go over here. Raise up a little bit. Let's see. Well, I still got some glare in there. There's not no easy way to get rid of that. So I got that all done. I'm going to hit the, so here I'm going to go to load job, and I have a little file on the desktop that is called, if I can find it, Tool Touch Off Demo. So that should be it right there. I think if it's not going to do what I want. So let me put you back over here. Try and get you close enough so you can see what's going on. And I think you can see all that stuff. So this is my second tool. This is an 1/8 inch bit. Actually, you know what? I got them bits in there backwards. I'm supposed to start with the 1/8 inch one. Well, for this purpose, it doesn't make any difference. We're not making any cuts. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit the green button on here, and hopefully what I think is going to happen is going to happen. And it did. It's telling me right now on the screen to change to tool bit number 1. So I already have that tool bit in there. It's not the real tool bit number 1. It was supposed to be the 1/8 inch bit, but I put the wrong one. But we're not cutting anything anyway, so it don't matter. So I'm gonna say it's all set to go. I'm gonna push the green button again. And now it's asking me, do I want to use the touch plate and then save the offset with a fixed touch off? And I'm going to hit that one. That's number 1. So now it says jog the tool over the plate. It's already over it. I am going to lower that axis a little bit so it doesn't have to travel so far, because we don't want to waste a bunch of time doing this. Then I'm going to push cycle start again. Now it's going to go down. It's going to touch that aluminum plate, and it's going to go back up. Now it's going to go back down very slowly. This is the one where it actually takes the measurement. And now it's saying store the touch plate. That's gone. We're not cutting anything. We're getting rid of that too. And then we're going to, this is where the magic happens right here. We're going to hit the green button. And this is my other touch plate right here. This is what I call R2D2. He's orange, but you know, I think there was an orange unit like that on Star Trek, but not Star Trek, Star Wars. But anyway, I call it R2D2. And now what it's telling me is store the touch plate. Machine will move to the fixed touch fixed tool touch off. Press cycle start. There it goes. I'm going to touch it, back up, and it's going to come down slow. That's back to the 0 position where I set the XY before. So now it says replace the dust foot. I don't have one of those, so I'm just going to hit the cycle start button again on here. And there it is. It's cutting. Of course, it's not cutting anything. The spindle's not on because that's going to make a lot of noise and you won't be able to hear me saying anything. This is just a little square. It's just cut out, supposed. It's just imitation. It doesn't matter. We don't need to do anything. So now, here's the beauty part of this whole thing. It's saying, well, if I can get rid of that glare, it's saying change to tool number 2. When ready, press cycle start. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to change the tool bit. That up out of the way. So you can see. I think you can see. Yeah, you can see. This camera's got a pretty wide angle on it. So. Okay, that's tool bit number 1. tool bit number 2, just to show you that it's a different tool. And I'm not going to put it in any particular spot. It's just going to go in there. I'm going to snug it up like that. Put my tool away. And now comes the fun part. I'll loosen this thing up so I can move it easier. There is my tool touch off. I think you can see the tool bit is right over here. And it says to change the tool, which I have done. Now press cycle start to continue. Watch what happens. The machine will move to the fixed tool touch off. Press cycle start to continue. That's the first touch. It's going to come down slow again. And then it's going to go back to the Y0, XY0. It's back where it was. And again, it's asking me to put the dust boot on, which I don't have. And it doesn't matter, we're not cutting anything anyway. And now when I hit cycle start, again, the little green button, there it goes. The spindle would have started, but it's not on, so it doesn't. And it's going to cut around and around and around. And that's it. That's the end of that. So as you can see, by adding the acorn board and getting a macro from a nice gentleman online in the forum for Centroid, and some slight modifications to that, and changing my post processor a little bit with a couple of little simple codes that are not hard to do. I got this thing to work. Now, the way I used to have to do this was I would have to get this changed. Every time I changed the tool, I would have to change the G code in the computer, which was a pain in the neck. After I did that, I changed the tool. And I always try to change the G code first, because if you don't, you forget, and you try to run the thing again with the code that you just got through running, and you ruin it. You know, because say the first one's a clearance thing where you're clearing out a pocket or something, and the next one's a cutout, and you put the next tool in, you didn't change the thing, and now it's going to do the clearance thing all over again for nothing. And you know, if you get the wrong tool in there and it's not, you know, it's not going to really cut anything. You're going to know right away that something's wrong. But sometimes it'll make a mess. Most times it won't. You catch it before it does anything stupid. But I've done that I don't know how many times. So I've tried to get in the practice of, as soon as that thing stops, I get rid of that G code that's in the machine and put the new code that's supposed to be in for the next tool. But what happens is now after I change the code, I put the next tool in the machine. I get this damn thing out again. I put it on top of the material. It zeroes on the material again. So you'd probably say, well, what's the difference between that and what you're doing now? Well, there's a big difference. And the difference is I don't have to change the code. All I have to do is put tool numbers on each of my tools and keep a mental, you know, idea of what tool I'm putting in and when I need to put it in. And if I don't know what it is, I can always look at the code and find out what it is. Doing it that way saved yourself a lot of trouble, because you don't have to keep remembering to change that G code in the machine. And that may sound like a really stupid thing, but as you can see, this is a whole lot easier, because you don't have to pick this up every single time, or you get this stupid thing with the little piece of paper and you bring the bit down slowly, and it's, you know, and even though I have this thing, you can move this thing you can actually set the steps in the machine, so it only moves a 10,000th of an inch for every click on this wheel, which is, if it's up high and you got it set like that, you'd have to change the speed on the pendant, and you could run it down closer to the thing. But if you put it on 1/10,000th of an inch, I can tell you, you're going to be spinning that wheel for a long, long time to get that thing to touch off. So the way this works is very accurate. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out, and in my opinion, it is much better. So if you're out there still using Mach 3 and going through all that nonsense like I just explained, you might want to think about changing up to this, because this thing here, this thing is really nice. You don't ever have to touch this again. This thing is eventually going to get mounted someplace, and the machine's going to know where it is, just like it knows where it is right now. I got little marks on the table, so I know where to keep this thing, so that it'll work the way it's supposed to. But sooner or later, I'm going to figure out where I'm going to put it, and it's going to stay there. And every time I zero a tool, the first tool off on a job, the second thing that's going to happen is it's going to go find this guy right here, this R2-D2. It's going to touch off of that. And from then on, I don't have to pick this up again, which is, in my book, really great. Makes things move along a whole lot faster. Not that I'm in any hurry, but it gets monotonous playing with that stupid plate all the time. It's easier to just change the tool, hit the button, and you go, instead of doing all that other nonsense. So, in my book, this with the Acorn board and the setup that I have now is perfect. I hope you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you could. I'm going to get back to that, and I'm going to let you get back to whatever you do or are doing, and have yourself a good day. Bye.